Hello there, it's Craig from Unleashed Education here, and you are watching another Editing Toolbox video. In these videos, Charlotte and I share a really quick tip, trick or technique that we hope will make editing easier for you and help you with your pet photography journey. Earlier this week, we had our monthly Unleashed Live Lounge call with our members, and this month's topic was a white balance clinic. During the call, I shared one of my quick white balance hacks, and I thought that is what I would share with you in this week's Editing Toolbox video. You can do this in Lightroom, or you can do it in Camera Raw, Photoshop, or really any other editing software that you're using to tweak your RAW files in. Don't forget that RAW is the important word there. You do need to be using your RAW files to get the best out of editing white balance. Once you're using JPEGs, PSDs or TIFFs, you don't have access to the same amount of data that you have in the RAW files. Getting your white balance correct is a crucial step in your editing process, and it's probably one of the first things that you should try and achieve in your edits. If you get your white balance right at the beginning of your edit, you're going to find that the whole process of editing your images becomes much simpler and much easier and much faster to do. With images like this, we're dealing really with a backlit image. This is a mixed lighting type of situation. We've got really nice warm light coming from behind, and falling on the front of the dog is basically shade light, but we've got lots of open sky behind here, which has given us a nice balance. But shots like this can be a little bit tricky to get the white balance right. So now here is the hack. I'm doing this in Lightroom, and in the basic adjustments panel, if you grab your vibrance and saturation and turn those both up to 100, you can get an exaggerated view of the colors that are present in the image. Now, as you can see from doing this, we've ended up with a very blue dog, which indicates that there's quite a lot of blue in the whites here, and we want to try and neutralize that as much as we possibly can. So now we have this exaggerated view, we can use the temperature and tint sliders to neutralize this. And so obviously with blue, we want to add some warmth on the temperature. And it's really just finding the balance between getting enough warmth and not actually ending up with it being yellow. Now, I think probably that we could add some magenta here as well. And I think we can still balance this out a little bit more with some more warmth too. Okay, so I think we've kind of made the whites here quite neutral. Perhaps a little on the warm side on this side of the dog and still a little bit cool on this side of the dog. We can actually do selective adjustments later on to even it out if I feel it's necessary in the edit. But that's basically what I do when there's a tricky white balance situation and I'm not sure of what the colors are in there. So if I take this back to where we started, so that's how the white balance looked previously, and that's how it looks now. We can take these back to 0, and now we have a much more correctly balanced image and more neutral tones to complete the rest of the edit from. Now let me just pull these up one more time. What I will just quickly say is that we have the temperature, which will control blues and yellows. We have the tint, which will control green and magenta tones. And then you also have cyan and red. So if you're dealing with cyans and reds, that's a color cast, not a white balance issue. And you can actually deal with color casts with the hue, saturation and luminance panel as well. But that's a whole different topic for a whole different day. For now, I guess I will leave you with that. A really quick hack for you to detect and correct white balance issues in your images. That was a little bit of a tongue twister. I hope this has been useful for you guys and you can put this into practice. If you have any questions or comments, as always, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer, and I will see you guys again really soon for another Editing Toolbox video.